You've taken this train home so many times that you barely think about it anymore. Same station, same platform, same seat near the window. Outside, the evening is slowly turning blue. Office lights glow behind windows. Street lights are beginning to come on. You put your headphones on, look through the glass, and let your mind wander. A few minutes later, you look up. Something feels different. You don't recognize that building or that street. You look around again. Actually, you don't recognize anything. You take out your phone and check the route. Then you see it. You missed your stop. And the next station is somewhere you've never been before. Now you have a choice. You can get off, turn around, and go back. Or you can stay on the train for one more stop and see where it takes you. What would you do? For the next few minutes, don't try to understand every English word you hear. Just follow what's happening. Notice what you understand. Notice what you can imagine. And when you miss something, don't go back. Keep following the story. Because by the end, I want you to discover how much English your brain can understand without translating every word. The train begins to slow down. You look through the window. This is your next stop. The doors open. Do you get off? For a moment, you stay where you are. Going back would be easier, but the doors are still open, and for some reason, you're curious. So you stand up, step onto the platform, and the doors close behind you. The train disappears into the evening. Now you're standing somewhere you never planned to be tonight. The station is small. 2 platforms, a narrow staircase, almost nobody around. The lights above you make the empty platform glow softly. You check your phone. The next train back leaves in 11 minutes. Easy. You could wait here and be back on your normal route very soon. Then you notice a map beside the stairs. There's a river nearby, 10 minutes away on foot. You look at the departure board, 11 minutes. Then at the map, 10 minutes. You smile. The train back can wait. Outside, the last light of the evening is fading. Everything is unfamiliar, but strangely peaceful. Apartment windows glow with warm light. A small corner shop is still open. Bicycles are leaning against a wall. Somewhere nearby, you can smell food from a restaurant you can't see. You start walking toward the river. Straight ahead, right at the corner, left after the small park. For the first few minutes, it's easy. The sky grows darker as you walk. Then the street ends. You stop. No river. In front of you are 2 paths. One goes left through the trees. The other goes right beside a row of houses with warm lights behind the curtains. You check the map. The blue dot says you're close. Very close. But it isn't obvious which way to go. Left or right? Then you notice a small sign near the trees. There are several words on it. You don't understand all of them, but you recognize one. River. And beside it, an arrow pointing left. You don't need the rest. You take the left path. The sounds of the city slowly disappear behind you. The path is darker here, but small lights along the walkway show you where to go. You still can't see any water. Then you hear it. A few steps later, the trees open, and there it is. The river is much wider than you expected. The last blue light of the evening reflects on the water. Lights from buildings on the other side stretch across the surface in long, soft lines. A walking path follows the river in both directions. There are a few benches. Someone cycles past quietly in the distance. You sit down. Half an hour ago, you had no idea this place existed. You weren't trying to find it. You weren't even supposed to be here. You take out your phone to check the time. And then you see something you hadn't noticed before.
9% battery. Suddenly, being somewhere unfamiliar at night feels slightly less relaxing. You've been using the map the entire way. If your phone dies, can you remember how to get back? Think about it. The trees. The two paths. The little park. The glowing corner shop near the station. You remember more than you expected. So instead of leaving immediately, you put the phone away. 5 more minutes. No map, no checking. Just the river. You watch the dark water move slowly past you. The wind passes through the trees. Across the river, windows glow against the deep blue sky. For a moment, the whole city seems quieter. And then it's time to go. You stand up and start walking back. Through the trees. Back to the two paths. Past the houses. You reach the small park. So far, so good. By now, the streetlights are fully on. Then you reach another corner. You hesitate. Left or right? You choose left. 30 seconds later, nothing looks familiar. You slow down. The windows are different. The shop you remember isn't here. Maybe this was the wrong way. You keep walking a little farther. Still nothing. Okay, definitely the wrong way. You take out your phone. 6%. You open the map. The station is behind you. You laugh quietly. Of course it is. You turn around, and 2 minutes later, something familiar appears at the end of the street. The little corner shop, still glowing under its sign. Then the station entrance. You made it. The next train arrives in 4 minutes. This time, you check the destination once, then twice. Definitely the right train. You get on and take a seat by the window. Inside, the carriage is warm and softly lit. Outside, the unfamiliar streets disappear into the night. A few stations later, you recognize a building. Then another. Then the lights near your neighborhood. Everything is familiar again, and this time, you don't miss your stop. The train slows down. The doors open. You step onto the platform and begin the short walk home. Now, before we finish, think about what your mind just did. You realized something was wrong. You followed a decision. You understood where you were going. You chose between two paths. You noticed a problem with your phone. You got lost and found your way back. Maybe there were words you didn't know, but did you know what was happening? Could you picture the train moving through the evening? The sign beside the dark path? The lights reflecting on the river? The phone showing 9%? Could you feel the moment you realized you had taken the wrong turn? If you could, then you followed the story. And that's important, because understanding English doesn't always mean understanding every word. Sometimes one familiar word is enough. Sometimes the situation tells you the rest. Sometimes you simply keep listening, and the meaning becomes clearer a few seconds later. So the next time you hear a word you don't know, try not to stop immediately. Don't chase every word. Follow the meaning. Just like tonight, you didn't understand the whole sign, but you found the river. You didn't know every detail, but you knew enough to keep going. And sometimes, that is what real understanding feels like.